Hello.
Hello. Lightroom Mobile is a fully free app. It is an Adobe product, but you don't need a subscription. And it's not freemium. They're not trying to sell you anything in the app. It's like you get all the bells and whistles for free when you download it.
The reason why we're teaching you Lightroom Mobile and not some other app is because this is the program that we create presets for and that we are able to create presets for you to use. And so through this app, you can use our presets to edit your photos.
Yeah, so this way you'll know not only how to use the app, but also how to use presets within the app. So we're gonna first teach you how to edit a raw image, and then we're gonna also show you editing through a preset.
Yeah.
So first things first, we have a raw image here. It's just a cutie little selfie pic Eric posted the other day. So once you're in Lightroom Mobile and you've uploaded and picked the image that you're editing, then you'll see in the edit screen all of these icons at the bottom. We're going to deal with mostly the ones that are on the right side of that little black divide. So starting with auto, light, color effects, detail, optics, geometry, and then we've got presets down there too. So first things first, we're gonna go into light. Eric, what do you think?
So if your photo is a little underexposed, you'll be bumping it up with exposure. If it's a little overexposed, you'll probably bring that down a little bit. But in this image, the exposure is pretty good. So first thing I'm gonna do is up this contrast a bit to deepen these colors, deepen these shadows.
The contrast literally creates a larger contrast between lights and darks.
Yeah, if we go the other way here, you'll see that it gets a little flatter with everything. So we'll up that contrast. Here with highlights, you can see that it brings down like any highlighted area of the image. So on our faces, really
our hands,
darkens
you can see
those.
the difference on our hands.
Yeah, on our hand there. If I bring them up, you can see what gets brighter as well. And then shadows obviously affects the shadows. It darkens all the shadows in the image. It brightens all the shadows in the image. We like to bring the shadows up a lot in images. Not necessarily this one, but a lot of the time there's maybe some shadow on some faces and whatnot, and you'll bump these shadows up. And then whites is similar to highlights.
But it's a little bit more isolated than highlights is.
Yeah.
Blacks is the same as shadows essentially, but again, just a little bit more isolated to the blacks.
So that looks good with the light.
Yep. All right, so now we're gonna move on to color. This is where you can control the temperature and tint, the vibrance and the saturation of your photo. So temperature is obviously, we can bring it really cool, we can bring it really warm. Right now, because it's fall, I like things a little warmer. That looks maybe a little too yellow, so I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit more. Yeah, like that, +4. You don't need to go haywire. If you wanna create something super stylized, you can, but a lot of times if you're just looking for it, just to enhance your photo, you're gonna keep the levels pretty low. The next, we've got tint. A lot of times when you change the temperature, it changes the tint of your photo. So if you go really cool, it might make it really blue or purple. If you go warm, sometimes it makes it green. So if you're trying to restore that balance, we brought it warmer. So I'm gonna bring the pinks back in just a little bit more.
Yeah. And as you see, that kind of fixes our skin tone and whatnot.
Next, you've got vibrance. If you bring vibrance down, you can see it takes away the color of the photo.
A little bit like saturation.
Similar to saturation, but it affects different colors. We have a lot of greens in this photo: green apple, green grass, green tree. So I want to keep the vibrance like up, but not super up, because it'll get really crazy if I do that. And then saturation, same thing. You can desaturate to go black and white. You can fully saturate your image if you're going nuts. But we're gonna keep that pretty low just to kind of bump the image up a little bit.
Up at the top of this color section in the upper right hand corner of it is the mix area, and you can actually isolate each color in the image. So for instance, since this is a very fall type picture, that grass is pretty green, and maybe in fall it might even be a little more yellow. So we can actually take that green color,
make it yellow,
kind of make everything more yellow. Then we can take these yellows and make them a bit more orange instead of green, So that kind of makes it a little bit more fall, and now you can really see a difference between the before and after of those colors.
Yep, that's really helpful for if you warm up a photo a lot. You can, and your face is really orange, you can desaturate the orange a little bit, or the yellows a little bit, or the reds a little bit, depending on, that's really helpful for for fixing skin tone. Next, we're moving on to effects. We've got texture, which is my new favorite tool because it's similar to clarity, except it's a little bit more isolated and it doesn't darken your image when you use it like clarity does. So it's great for kind of bringing out hair, for bringing out like the fur on an animal, for popping out these branches, for popping out the grass. If you'll see when I do clarity up and down, it changes kind of the color and intensity of the image.
Clarity is very intense with the whites and blacks.
Yeah, so I now have been using texture a lot more than clarity to keep the photo a little more balanced.
And texture actually the opposite direction too. If you bring it down, if there's more like a portrait shot of someone's face, just a little bit down can even smooth the skin out a bit.
Yeah, in our everyday preset pack, we have got a selfie filter and we make sure the texture is nice and smooth on that.
Hashtag selfie game strong.
Hashtag selfie game strong. And then we've got dehaze. This one we don't use a lot. Every now and then we'll find ourselves using it, but essentially it does what it sounds like. It will either haze up your photo or dehaze your photo. You have the need to use it that much, but you might.
Sometimes if you're shooting like landscape stuff, there might be like some cloudiness on the horizon and whatnot. If you use that dehaze tool, it'll kind of bring everything back into like contrast.
And then we've got vignette, which if you like vignettes, then this is the tool for you. The last tool that we're going to use to edit a raw image or just to kind of fine tune an image is detail. If you want, you can use sharpening, and that's only just going to clarify your photo a little bit more. If you want to bring the photo more into focus, then you can do that with texture, sharpening, and clarity.
Yeah, sometimes iPhone photos in like maybe low light might be a little soft, and you can kind of sharpen that up a bit.
Yep, and then if you are brightening a really dark photo, a lot of times it'll look really grainy, and you can adjust the noise right here.
Yeah.
So now that is a pretty solid image, don't you think?
Yeah.
To share the image, you click the little box with an arrow up at the top and then click save to camera roll. Yep. And we suggest selecting maximum available.
Yes, maximum available.
And then it'll save right to your phone. So we're going to undo this all. Cool. So now that we're in the raw image again, we're going to go through how to edit with the preset. So right now we've got a few different packs. So let's try everyday. We've got everyday, selfie game strong. You can see that nice. That kind of smooths it out. Band T is our everyday vintage. Nice. Bright day. A lot of these everyday presets are kind of a one and done. Some are definitely more stylized than others, like dark and stormy. But if you do want to say you really like how bright the dark and stormy look is, but maybe it's just a little bit too much, we're going to show you how to edit and tweak this preset to work for your image. So we're in presets. You hit the check mark.
And so now that preset is applied to your image.
Yep. So we're going to go into light. We're going to turn this exposure down. Already that looks so much better. What else do you think?
All right, so this preset comes with the shadows pretty high. So we're going to turn those shadows down just a little bit to bring some depth back into the image. But there's still going to be a little bit of noise from the shadows being raised in our body shadows there. So we'll go into detail as well and do a little bit of noise reduction. So you can kind of see some of that noise go away there.
Cool. Now I think that the green is a little intense for me. So instead of going and changing the tint, because I like the overall color of the image, I like how warm it is, and I feel like we've got some good pinks in our skin, I'm gonna go into the green and I'm just gonna desaturate the greens just a little bit to bring it back to that like earthy feel. All right, so I feel like I really like that image now that cool. So let's save it.
Let's see if,
and then let's see what the back-to-back is.
Not like either one's worse or better, but they'll just be different.
Here is the image that we just edited with the preset, and then here is the raw image. So boom, boom, just like that. So not one is better than the other, but they're just two different ways to edit. you can end up with similar results, but the presets are designed to just make things a little bit easier for you.
Yeah. Like as you saw when we were going down the everyday presets list at first, like a lot of those could have been one and done presets.
Yeah, but again, we wanted to show you if you're using a preset and it's cool but maybe needs a little bit of adjustment, you can tailor it to your photo in just a few easy clicks and you are ready to share it online.
Boom.
All right, well, we hope this was helpful. Let us know if you have any questions. Obviously, we're here to help. We really want this to be user-friendly and we want to empower you guys to edit your photos. So let us know what your questions are, if there's anything that we can teach you to help not only with presets, but just in Lightroom in general.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. All right, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Go visit our website, www.irvinture.com. Follow us on Instagram @itsAnIrvinture. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and let us know what you want to see from us in the future.
All right, peace.
Bye.